Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are in the country. Today is August 4th, 2016, and this is Mastermind call number 86. So thank you all for taking a half hour of your time to check in with us today. This call is all about you, so please, everybody is muted out now. Please hit star 6 and hit 1. Star 6, pause, and hit 1 if you would like to participate in today's call. There's no topic that's off limits. I see a couple familiar names here. I don't see anybody from the Mastermind call yesterday. That's a shame, Chad. Let me go around the room, and I see Jim Gilbert. Jim, you always are a good, willing participant. Tim, anything you would like to share with the group this week?
If you have rain in your marketplace, I beg you to send it to Florida. I probably won't be on the next call because I believe I'll be burning. We need rain badly. Outside of that, let's get on with the meeting.
All right. Chad, anything you would like to add or announce or contribute?
Yeah, so anybody who didn't make it yesterday, we had our August role play call. We did send out emails on that, so if you didn't see that email and you missed it for that reason, check your spam folder and add all the leads, add just support at alltheleads.com to your address book so that doesn't happen again. But anyways, that call can be found on our Facebook group, which is All the Leads Mastermind. If you're not a member of that group, you can search Facebook for All the Leads Mastermind and request access. And for now, we're archiving the role play calls and these calls in there. So good call. We covered a pretty diverse set of scenarios ranging from initial conversations with executors to even breaking the ice with attorneys and some tricks of the trade to get past the gatekeepers there. So if you've got 30 minutes, that's a really good call to listen to. Probate Mastery, finally, we've gotten everything finished up, and I'm in a place where we can offer the mastery training. So the dates, I have not posted this yet, but we will offer the next Probate Mastery class on August 15th, 17th, and 19th. All 3 sessions will start at 2 p.m. The first 2 run about an hour, and the last session on the sales and the listing appointment typically runs about 90 minutes. So if you want to sign up, I've got quite a big waiting list of all you guys who have been patient and told me you wanted to be in the next class. But for anybody, if you're not on that list, you can email me. It's chad@alltheleads.com, and let me know to make sure you're on there. Also, keep an eye on your email. As soon as we figure out a little tech glitch, we will be sending out an email so you can actually sign up. And even if you gave me your name for the list, that doesn't mean you're signed up. You still need to register so you get the invites. So I'll make sure that you get the email and everything, but when you see that email from us, make sure that you go ahead and sign up so you get the invites. But again, that was August 15th, 17th, and 19th from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. And for those of you who don't know, Mastery is our highest level of training where we build on what we teach in Fast Track. So we just take it a lot deeper, and how to really build this as a lasting part of your business. Everything's video recorded, so you can use it to refer back to. You can use it to train new people on your team. We try to give you everything that you could possibly need to build this as a really successful, lasting niche in your business. So.
Excellent. And there are a couple thoughts there. There was a question about working attorneys on the call yesterday. We spent a lot of time on that, and this is something you definitely want to take if you're going to want to communicate intelligently with attorneys. I think we actually had an attorney one time comment that he learned something by reading the frequently asked questions on our website. So, and the Mastery course, if you're going to, it's not anything that we push initially. We push the basics of how to get out there and, communicate with the executors and list property, but the Mastery really takes it a level further. And it was kind of interesting. Our CEO was looking into it. Just statistically, people that take that course are about twice as likely to stick with the program as people that don't. So they're obviously their success rate in the marketplace seems to be higher because they stick with the program longer. So highly encourage it for any of you that have not taken it. And Chad, at the end of it, you are a certified probate expert. You get a plaque you can put on your wall. You can put that on your business card, and it's a title that you could add to your resume. Correct?
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Hey, again, guys, we got a lot of people on the call. Nobody in the queue yet. Hit *6 and hit 1. If Suzanne Barber is on the call, she asked me a really good question. I spent a half hour with her yesterday. Said she was going to come on. Welcome, Tom in Fort Lauderdale. I see a lot of familiar names here. Tom, Tom Ownby, anything you want to add from a customer support while we're waiting for questions?
No, nothing specific besides if you need anything, please don't hesitate to send an email to support@alltheleads.com, and we will get it to the right place and track those items too, so we make sure we get responses. That's about
Perfect.
It.
Yeah, a lot of people call me, and I am the least technologically proficient of my partners. Best way to get help with anything is just send an email to support@alltheleads and be real specific about what you want. We all read that, and our average response time is less than 20 minutes. Somebody will usually get back to you right away. Guys, we need some questions. We need some input from the group. Somebody hit *6 and share a win, a place you're getting stuck, a question. Share something with the group, please. While I'm waiting for that, I'll share with you. I had a call yesterday. I guess Susan is not on the call. Susan Barber in North Carolina. I think she's been with us about 90 days, and she has been consistently taking 2 or 3 listings a month. Not setting the world on fire, but certainly very, very methodical, very, very systematic. She sends letters. She follows up with phone calls, and she had one she hadn't seen before where it sold, and the other agent said, well, there are 4 people on title. You need to get all 4 of their signatures and all 4 of their spouses' signatures. And she called and said, I didn't think you needed that with probate. I thought you only needed the executor information. And what had happened was during the listing period, the estate was settled and the title was transferred. So the executor's in charge during the probate process. Once the estate's settled and the title actually gets transferred to the heirs, yeah, it's a different story. So she basically had to go back and get 8 signatures on the contract, but it was a good problem. If any others of you run into that, we still don't have anybody in the queue, Chad. Do you want to recap something? I know I see Jim Gilbert. I see Roger Lacey. Anything you guys would like to? It's unusual because there we go. We got a brave volunteer. But go ahead, Chad.
Last week we had 4 or 5 people who were going to put together a role play group and call each other. And I wonder if any of those people are on this call, if you guys actually did that and if it worked out. And I'd also like to suggest if any of you guys want role play partners, it seemed to be a lot of people jumped on last week and said, oh, I'll do that. If you want a role play partner, post in the Facebook group. Post in All the Leads Mastermind and find an agent that's not in your market. Chances are they're not. And put together a group. I mean, if you guys set a time on Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. to just do a probate role play session and set up a conference line. I love that idea, and I love that you guys are sharing in that way. So if anyone's on the call and you did do that last week, I'd like to kind of hear about it and see if there's anything we can add to it to help you guys.
Excellent. We do have 1 person in the queue. We got time for 3 or 4 more guys, so please step up and participate. Hit *6 and hit 1, and I will go to the first person in the queue. You're the only one there, so your phone number ends in 1100.
Hi, this is Carlin Lowry from Maryland.
Hey,
and
welcome.
Hey, so I'm reporting a success.
Woo-hoo, we like that. Awesome.
Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of shocked. I had my first mailing go out on Friday. I've gotten 3 calls, one of whom just chastised me for being an ambulance chaser and such a cruel letter. So that was I think that was my first call. So that one was sort of rough, and then she hung up on me. So I'll be interested in your thoughts on that. But before stopping, the next one told me the real estate had been sold years ago and then resold. And the third one I had an appointment with this morning for $5 million property.
Wow.
Nice.
So your
Yeah.
first list, you remind me of gosh, who is it in Arkansas? Our friend in Arkansas that his first call. Who is it, Chad?
Roger.
Oh, Roger Lacey. Okay, he's on the call. Yeah, duh. Roger, his very first call to an attorney, he ended up getting an $8 million listing. So you guys should join the Millionaires Club. That is awesome.
Yeah, well, all I got to do is get the listing now. They're interviewing a few people, so they're sharp. It's good.
Yeah, awesome. So anything we can do to help you get the listing? I mean, I'm sure you told them all the services you have to offer, right? To kind of differentiate yourself.
There's more to say. They're interviewing. It's turning into more of a luxury real estate interview. Interestingly, one other agent they interviewed was also a widow, as is.
Carlin, you're breaking up a bit. Can you hear us? It's too bad. I think we lost you. You still show that you're on there. Can you hear us, Carlin? Now you're back. Can you hear us? All right. Well, Carlin, I think we lost her. I think her cell phone went dead. Yeah, she dropped off the call. Anyway, guys, that's pretty good. First month, get a $5 million listing appointment. And, Chad, we don't have anybody else in the queues. And this is something you covered very well yesterday on the call. So it's a rerun for those of you that were on it. But maybe go over it again, how to answer that, how to respond to that. Now, the ambulance chaser, I mean, honestly, I never had that come up once. It's very rare. But if somebody is annoyed when you call, how do you suggest they respond, Chad?
I mean, I just, like we've talked about in the past, agree with them. Use empathy to your advantage. So, you know what, Jim, I can understand how you might be frustrated. Most people are, in fact, that we talk to, because they don't really understand what we're doing. So, do you have a minute to just fully understand what the reason I'm calling?
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
Go ahead. You want to role play?
I was role playing it with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Make it a minute. You got 60 seconds.
Listen, Jim. We helped. The reason we do this, we found we were helping more and more families who were in this situation, but they were just overwhelmed. They didn't know what to do, and they weren't too happy either at the time we met them. But what they found is that we brought a lot more to the table than just being real estate agents. We were able to help them get the personal property cleaned out, sold for the most money, donated the rest, and then do professional marketing and get the home sold for the most amount of money. And in some cases, we even sell them, in a week or less to our investors. It really starts with us understanding your goals, Jim, and then we'll provide some options for you to choose from, and you make the choice. So that's what makes us a lot different. I can see where you might have had a different perception, but does it sound like something that, does it sound like you might be able to benefit from sitting down with us for 15 minutes?
Well, I mean, we do have to sell the property. I'm not sure we're quite ready yet, but it does.
What's better than free professional advice? I mean, we don't get paid a dime until we do exactly what we promise. I do have some time on Friday at 3 after my last appointment. Can I drop by for 30 minutes?
Sure, I'll come by. And obviously, Chad, that was completely different the way you did it yesterday, but the consistent theme is the pattern interrupt is to kind of turn around and put the emphasis on them. You're not, it's not all about me. It's about, I need to understand your needs so I can best help you. And that when you come from that perspective, you can turn people like that around pretty quickly. So
yeah, and I hate she dropped off the call, but she did the right thing. I mean, she got blasted pretty hard on her very first call, but she didn't take it personally, and she picked up. She had her head held high when a $5 million listing called, and that's something we addressed yesterday when we talked about attorneys. You are going to get shut down. It's real estate. It's prospecting. So just keep the right mindset and don't take it personal. If somebody blasts you like that, it's probably, you never know why they're in that mood. And just remember, all you can do is be empathetic and professional and help them understand that you're doing the right things for the right reason. And most will, some won't, and just move on. But she did the right thing. She kept her head up, and hopefully she gets a home run commission out of that and a lot more. So. Well,
she charged her phone and she's back. Carlin, you're back?
I'm back. Yeah, sorry, I'm driving, so dropped the call. So I just heard the last bit, which is great. Yeah, because that was definitely a rough moment when that woman called me in an ambulance chase, and I just said, all I could get out was, "I'm sorry for your loss, ma'am, and I'm here to help," and that was it. And then she blasted me a little bit more and hung up. So.
It's funny, Carlin, because in signing people up for this program and explaining it, I think that's the single biggest fear agents have, and honestly, it happens less than 1% of the time. I would say 1/10 of 1% of the time, because you realize it's 60 to 90 days from the date of death until the probate gets filed, and when they hire an attorney to file the probate, they're kind of announcing to the world that, hey, I'm ready to deal with this. So,
right.
You may have just caught her at a bad time, bad day. She may not like realtors. Who knows? But the way you handle it, obviously, is to turn the focus on her. And hey, I'm here to help you. And like Chad said, I'm not going to charge you a dime until I'm able to. And what are your needs? Ask good questions. Find out what her needs are.
And after next week, you're going to have the best objection handler in the world, because the next time you get blasted, all you have to say is, it's funny you say that, because one of my best clients just listed a $5 million house with me, and I was offering them the same thing I did you. That's funny.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. And so what's my trickiness here? You asked what advice I needed on the next one, and I guess, I'm not used to dealing with errors, so I got a brother and a sister. They're both really nice, actually. He used to be a real estate agent, although he's a full-time physician, he said. But, they're having to sell to pay the estate taxes in because they don't really need the property anymore. And they've got one that was in mom's name in a trust, one that was in his name, and one that was in her name. So I'm sort of looking at how would I even market all three, and how would they divide up the money, and how to address that whole situation when it's three already divided parcels.
Let's focus on the people first. What is their biggest stress, and how can you be the solution to that? And Roger Lisi, if you're on this call, jump in, because he sat in the room in an attorney's office with 8 heirs last week.
Matter of fact, Roger's in the queue, so I'm going to unmute him.
Yeah, completely turns around by asking good questions and understanding where they're coming from and what their pain points are. They will tell you what your service needs to be, and you'll blow your competition away. Those other agents they're interviewing probably aren't going to ask good questions. So by knowing, and it's probably if he's a medical professional, if they're well-to-do professionals, their biggest pain point is probably time, and personal property requires a lot of time to sort through and get rid of and arrange a sale. So it's likely if you can coordinate the entire estate sale process with a trusted partner, that might be a service that the other agents don't even think about. But first, figure out what's their pain point and take that away for them.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. For him, it's probably time, and that he lives far away, so it's hard to deal with it.
Roger,
for the brother?
Unmuted. Yeah, Roger's unmuted, so we'll let him contribute. Roger, can you hear me? You there, Roger? Doggone it. Hang on a minute. Carlin, just in case, I may cut you off to activate Roger. Are you good? I mean, did you have any other questions for us?
Yeah, I guess all I would say is that, the brother, it would be time and distance.
Can you hear me now?
The yes. Yep, we hear you. The sister's just getting older, and I think she was busy taking care of mom for like 10 years, and now that that's done, she doesn't need the property anymore, and I think she'd like a change.
So here's a really good question, and I think will help you flesh out some motivation here. So, well, tell me, Mr. Seller, let's talk about the personal property. Is everything still in the home, and what's your plan for that? So what you're probably going to find is you're going to highlight the fact to them that they don't have a plan. And the direction you're going with this is you are going to be the plan. So most people will say, well, I don't know, we've got to get it cleaned out. I'm out of town. I'm busy. I've got surgery 3 days a week. And, you know, my sister, she's older and she took care of mom. She can't really do it. So they'll start to give you those key points that you can cover, and and just sit back and listen. And you can then say, well, you know what, listen, that's one of the biggest parts of what we do. We actually have an estate sale company, so we can arrange whatever you're most comfortable with, a tag sale or an auction sale. We'll have the property appraised after the family takes what they need, and we'll coordinate everything with that company. We'll have the sale, and whatever doesn't sell, I want you guys to know it's not going to the dump. We're going to donate it to families who need it. Because chances are the sister has some emotional ties to that personal property because she spent the last decade in that house taking care of mom. So play to her emotional side, play to his time saving, and be the solution for both of them. And I'm guessing, I mean, it's hypothetical, but in my experience, that's probably going to be two really hot points for those two people.
And Roger, I think you're unmuted finally. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Congratulations, Maureen. Great first day. Great first mailing. I have a comment about additional heirs, the distribution, and about the biggie. I don't have a comment about you've covered well the objection of being a hearse chaser, but I can tell you my experience, Chad is right on the money with what he's saying. 8 heirs in the middle of a room, and they all three major heirs have a different agenda. One of them decided that 16-year-old heir decided to get an attorney, and in spite of her mother sitting there who took part of the thing, and so it just kind of break it up and move on. To finish that one off, there's probably going to be, in what I'm seeing in Arkansas from my title companies, when there's multiple heirs on the property, even with an executor involved, you probably need to get a limited power of attorney from each one of them after they've reached some sort of consensus agreement with what is the disposition of the inherited property. So I'm going, when I get multiple heirs, and I brought it up to the attorneys don't have the paradigm of closing it and transferring a deed to somebody else. But I know that that's what the title company's looking at when they say that. Bring that up to the attorneys, because the attorney just wants to get this off of his table as quickly as possible so that he can get to something else. And he really doesn't want to deal with the families, and that's where I have found coming in and talking to the families, and Chad is absolutely right. What is important to you about selling this property? What are and keep asking that question, because it gets down to, what are they going to do with the money? You don't really care what they do with the money, but when they start talking to their accountant, there may be tax ramifications of the inherited property and what they do with it, whether it's in trust, whether it comes in on their personal taxes. And that's what happens. That's what's happened with me on the $8 million property. The family doesn't know what they're going to do with the money. And with your $5 million luxury property that you have, the real question is, what's going to happen afterwards, other than get a big bill from Uncle Sam for that, whether it's in a trust or whether it comes in on your personal property tax. My solution at this point is get them into a 1031 in-kind exchange and find another project that they can roll the money into that would provide income or meet whatever their needs are for moving forward to the future. So you've got a multi-layered on the big ones and on some of the little ones. You always got to have that the digging. What is your plans? You almost become a financial planner, and you can send them over to a financial planner, and that'll put it all into a mutual fund of some sort. But I don't know if that'll count as a 1031. In-kind exchange from the proceeds of the sale of the assets within the estate.
I just have to say, for those of you that haven't done a probate before, they're not all. That's a good thing when they're $5 and $8 million properties. It does make it a little bit more complicated. Your average probate, that's not the case. You've got usually you've got one person that's making the decision. You sell the property and they move on. But that's a good problem to have upscale properties. Chad, you had a comment?
Yeah, one thing I want to add. So in the scenario that she has right now, one property was in a trust, so it's going to be a breeze. The other property is in probate. It's not going to be as simple. So a good question to ask to really reinforce, your rapport and differentiate yourself against the other realtors that are going to be interviewing. Well, if you don't mind asking, what do you guys plan to do once this is all settled? I mean, do you have a plan for what you're going to do with the proceeds, or do you guys plan to reinvest? Is that something that, we actually have family wealth planners that we could set up an appointment with you, so, we could show you ways to avoid probate in future generations if you're not already protected in that way. We can help you reinvest this. I mean, I know a great realtor. We can even help you build a rental portfolio or upgrade your home. So, do you guys have any plans? And they're probably not going to expect that. Your competition's not going to think to ask, to think that many steps ahead. So some of these things that, it's just to really show them that you're a different class of professional and that you are worthy of that $5 million listing because you understand the process and care about the estate and the people in it, and you're willing to give that level of service. So just consider some of those questions the next time you call them.
Yeah, thank you. So we got two more people in the queue. I really appreciate you for always participating. And one thing I just wanted to add real quick that we talk about every call that applies to everybody is the average inheritance in the country is at least $200,000. So you've got somebody on the phone that just had a big windfall. And we tell agents all the time, and we've had a few that have had great success, even if they say, I already sold the property, ask another question very nicely. Well, great. With the proceeds, do you have any plans on upgrading the home you live in or maybe buying some rental property? You're talking to somebody that has extra spending money, and what better thing to spend it on than real estate? Whether it's $200,000 or $8 billion, the same principle applies. So thank you, Roger. Anything else you want to add? I got two more people, but I appreciate you always contributing.
Nope, that's it.
All right, buddy. Thanks again. Let me get next person in the queue I think that's Carlin. Carlin, we were done with you. Then the next one is phone number ending in 3199. You're up.
It's me, Jim Gilbert, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
I just wanted to add, what was her name? Carlin, I believe.
Correct.
For all those calls where you get chewed out, I kind of call it getting chewed out or whatever. There's a lot of people that'll thank you for calling them too. I had a lady call me back just yesterday, and she told me her husband told her. She said, you need to call him back and thank him for calling us, although we really didn't need him at the time. We've already done something. I really don't remember exactly why they didn't need me, but she was very, very nice person to talk to. So, you will get compliments too.
And Jim, I think you were a little reluctant to make the calls initially, and now you're banging out at least a deal a month, and you're not in a real metropolitan area or anything, but you're getting. That's a great point. You're going to get as many, or if not more, positive responses than negatives. So I think that'll encourage some of the new people. That's great. Excellent, sir. Anything else?
No, that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Jim. We got great timing. We got a couple minutes left, and we have one more person. We got a different name for a change here. Phone number ending in 888. You're up next.
Hi, this is Juliet. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I'm from Los Angeles. And my question is, I have a team. I want to know how I have some associate and my assistant with me now. I want to know how may I make a record of the list that I have to follow up like in 6 months, a year, or 3 months about getting listings, because I'm not going to be very active myself and they're going to work on it, but I want to have a link to it to know what happened to each one of the leads, to log in. Do you have any guidance for me?
So it sounds like you're talking about a database, like a CRM.
Yeah, also my assistant can talk to you. 1 second. Just to explain what I want. The record of the leads.
Oh, okay, she just wants to really know how to keep record of the leads, what is good, what's bad, what we don't need, what we do need, what's going to happen with each.
Each lead and each person who are working.
Well, so the best way is to use a CRM. And if you don't have one, you can look under, I believe it's step 3 in subscriber resources. There's a training video that will show you how to use a simple Google Sheet to set up a very basic CRM. And each tab represents a different month. In the coming weeks, when we roll out our new technology, we will actually push the leads into a CRM for you guys. So when you log in, instead of downloading a spreadsheet, you'll actually log in and be able to say, work with these leads, and you'll have an archive in a probate-specific CRM. So to kind of bridge that gap, look in subscriber resources and look for that video. I think the title is Using Google Sheets as a Probate CRM. It's like a 6-minute video. That will help you right now if you want to, get started with that. And whenever we roll out the new website, all those leads will automatically be in your new CRM.
And that is coming soon. We keep promising it, but it's actually right around the corner.
That was my next question. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you. Great call, guys, and we're right on a half hour, so really appreciate it. I always like to end these calls, first of all, by thanking the 6 or 7 people that would step up and participate. And I always like to remind everybody, you took 30 minutes to come to this call, so take one thought, one idea, one thing that inspired you from this call, and please go out and put it into practice in the next week and come back next Thursday and let the group know how you did. If you need us in the meantime, support@alltheleads.com. This call will be posted shortly on our website and our Facebook group. And thank you so much, guys. Make it a great week, and we will talk to you same time next Thursday.